Thank you. Thank you. Happy All Saints Eve. Good day. This is Regina's rabbit hole. Look at that sun. It's All Saints Eve. I don't know if you heard me say. And I have something to do for my Patreon account. I need to start informing you all the different facets. And so I use embedding and symbolism. Today is All Saints Eve. Check it out. Oh, who do I look like? Who could I possibly be? Or who could they have been possibly trying to be? Huh? I don't know. Let's flip it. All right, so we're on the feet. The feet is the foundation. Feet is very important. When it comes to the dance, feet being foundation, we're going to spiral out. I'm also going for a walk. First of all, you can't do anything without your feet. Your feet are the foundation. They take you wherever you want to go. They actually show you what the computer is doing because your feet take you to wherever it is that you're thinking about, right? Wherever you go, there you be. And you are who you are, right? So that's one. Then there's taking the feet and using reflexology, or starting with simple foot massage. Simple foot massage to be grateful and appreciation, show appreciation to your feet. That's what I started doing. I started showing appreciation for my feet. I was having a lot of problems. I had had a morphine pump taken out of my body. I was walking with a cane, had a walker, used those little carts when you went in the store. Good day, love. So I was pretty jacked up. I couldn't bend over. This is about 10 years ago. Okay. Your feet being the foundation. I started out with showing appreciation when I began recovering from those injuries. I realized that showing appreciation for my body, instead of being angry at it, was helping with my healing process. I took with me the information I had learned about people who had did visual healing, long distance healing, different cultures have different healing techniques that they've used. So I started incorporating some of that and tweaking it, seeing how we were able to go outside of the box. I started to do that there too. The key is to connect mentally. If you don't believe it, it can't happen, and that's why the belief has to be conceptualized, and the ability to trust and actually do the thing. People live out religions. They're entrusting that if they do certain behaviors, that it's going to get a particular kind of result. We're taught certain things about interacting with our atmosphere and with our environment, with our bodies, right? And so all this was coming into play when I looked at health. And I could barely bend over, and I had this freaking morphine pump removed, and I could barely get on the floor and sit down and do a squat to do yoga. I was 287 pounds. And then I had another injury where I finally got myself up and going, and then I ended up falling on the bus. Hurt my neck. You see me do that little twisting a lot. I actually fell out in the bus. Further injuring or aggravating some stuff that was already going on. But we recouped from that. But first we had to believe it because they had written me off a long time ago, right? Middle-aged, 287 pounds, and a little go-kart in the store. Everybody else said it was done. So, first thing I knew that I had to do was appreciate my feet, and it started here. It started here. As with all things in regards to this dance and the smaller concepts or theologies or dogmas or whatever it is that I put together, there are tools that you can choose to use or not to build your own dance, okay? So right now we're starting at the foundation, and the foundation has many parts, and that's what you hear me squawking about. Things don't start with what we say. We know they start with what we do. And what we do is depicted upon who we are, the essence. This is vitally important when we start getting into the different layers and facets of this dance. So that's why I ask you to walk with me. I'm going to talk a little bit more. Let's go into some more layers. Okay. So we appreciate our feet because we can't go anywhere without them. We're walking over here. We're going to flow over here to the dam. To the dam, to the dam, to the dam. Boy, we were damned when we didn't know that there were different healing techniques and modalities. But not anymore. We're very thankful. Okay, so you can use basic foot massage as a way to show appreciation. Put some lavender oil on there. Find some essential oils. The reason why the feet on another dimension, once you just start to appreciate your feet just because of your feet and you own them and they take you where you want to go, look at the feet as a mini model of a macro concept. We're going to go into a more extravagant idea of the feet as a mini model of Earth, okay? The feet, just like the face, just like the fingers, are kind of like the chakra system or leading into the tree of life. It's like a web or access to one modality that leads to other images or facets of the same thing. So say you look at the tree of life and you see the feet as the foundation and you see the feet as Geb. Okay. You can look at your feet and see that the feet gives access to the rest of the tree by pressure points, access points. That's where we get into acupuncture and reflexology and ancient practice. Okay? That's beautiful. Look where my feet took me, where my essence likes to be. Look where my feet took me, where my essence enjoys to be. Something we know. Law of correspondence. And all that jazz. As we dance through life, right? Okay, so we have reflexology. If you look into reflexology, what I'm getting at is that it's an access point for perception to look at it as a connector to the tree of life, okay? Your feet. And so as we go through this dance and the different parts of the dance, I'm going to briefly touch on that. I'm not sure how much I'm going to go into each different part that I use, but I'm going to go into each part and allow you to access them as a tool for this Patreon account. Right now, I'm showing you what you'll have a taste of on Facebook that I'll be using for the Patreon. And as we move further, I would hope to take the access to this information and the mentality that it takes to maintain it into the Patreon in a different type of community, so we can really get in here and do some stuff, okay, with the different multifaceted parts to this dance, which can access life or different parts of consciousnesses, just like when you go into a video game. Can't even start with the pole, because the pole came from somewhere else. The pole in your mind right now is a cane, if you use a cane. Believe that you can put that cane down and that you have an access point to health by way of changing your food, your foundation, what goes into the body as fuel. There's herbs, roots, and minerals that promote a higher access level for healing abilities. Yeah. Just by knowing about them and ingesting them, the point of reference is knowing about them again, and then believing that they can work and using them as the layers. And then the exercise, the physical part would be to learn reflexology or to learn about simple foot massage and start there, to appreciate the feet, spend time tapping the feet. There's tapping that we can also do with the feet that I learned with yoga that help with relieving headaches and promoting blood flow to different parts of the body, and that's where the acupuncture comes in. Yeah, so you can access different parts of your body by way of your feet. Same thing with your hands and face. There's something called tapping. Okay, acupuncture and reflexology and basic massage. There's also energy healing. The energy that you bring to the appreciation of whatever it is that you decide to do. The foundations of dance. Where did dance come from anyway? As a young child, I played as a child, and we did those little hoochie coochie dances and things like that. I thought it was so cool. Swing your, I didn't know what dance was all about. There's something that it makes you feel connected to in so many different ways. The difference between a stripper or a hip-hop dancer or somebody that does Tai Chi or yoga, movement. The way that we look at our bodies and movement, right? Good day, love, Genevieve. Hey, Erica. The way that we look at our bodies as women, as people, right? The access point. It all starts with a thought. It's the foundation of everything. Yeah, so dancing certainly has changed since I was a wee child, and what I've learned about dance. How I looked at dance as a place of reference as a woman and what it was supposed to do for me. You know, what is dance for you as a person, let alone in a society where being too much girl, once you get over a certain age, being too much woman, being too feminine is considered taboo, puts you in a whole nother category, and without the rest of the world on the same page with you, can get you displaced, get your energy displaced and misused, and we can miscalculate the energy that we bring to a situation. So the foundation is, when I want to dance, I got to go someplace where other people understand what it is that I'm doing, even with dance, right? Like, I'm not stripping, and I'm not solely a hip-hop dancer. I'm not like the... So where does it belong? as an access point, as a foundation. I went to dance class at a place called Naugatuck Valley Community College. And as a foundation, it was pretty cool because, let me tell you why. This is multifaceted, right? All right, why was it cool? Image, getting caught up in all of this and the way that I felt about myself around you all. And so having to go to dance class and take my wig off so that it didn't fly off while I was on the floor or do all this other type of stuff, I wanted to get over all that stuff. I found myself wanting to pick and, it was just so cumbersome and not real. It was exhilarating to leave myself at the door every time I went to dance class. Every time I wanted to become a part of that class with those young women that were like this big. And remember, I was like 287 pounds at one time. So I was still losing the weight. I'd only just begun to be able to do the yoga and have the kind of mobility that I started to enjoy my body. Started to look at myself a different way and dancing. And so I would dance at home. There's videos of me getting in touch with self and finding a different way to plug in because I was shamed. I was shamed at first about being who I am and about dance and stuff like that. It's so funny what we have to fight for and how it comes full circle and what it means to us. Dance now is a way for me to connect with not only my body as a foundation, but the creator and you. It's an access point for health and communication. I no longer feel dis-ease about dancing. It actually turned it inside out, and it helps me to get more in a holistic state where I can combat dis-ease. And so I'm grateful for that. So being in this dance class, in order to even take part, I had to drop my ego at the door. It's a struggle each day with all the thoughts and stuff that be going through the airways and the pressure that we have, so much pressure on image and material things. It's there, right? It's there. Just because I'm not concerned about it doesn't mean that other things aren't, right? And so each time I went to, this is like over the years, the transition. Each time I went to give you a message and to share something with you, the anxiety that you have to overcome about that. And then one thing that always helps me is to remember why I'm doing it is not me at all. So if I can remember that why I'm doing something is not, it's not about me. I'm just carrying out what I was told to do and sharing something that's very beneficial and therapeutic. That's the foundation of this message. It truly is from in here. And I wanted to get to that place. So I had to push all the crazy stuff that happens up here away. And it was very purifying because it was terrifying. Being around women, like we can be so cruel. And I got real raw with it. And so yeah, I took my wig off. I put a headscarf on. I put my leotards on or whatever, and I went for it. And I was in a whole environment, like I had went from being a hermit and being in the house and barely going to the grocery store, getting in that little cart, to going to college and doing yoga, actually getting on the floor, to signing up for a dance class. Like all these other things started happening. But I first started with a thought. I first started to look into my environment and my world around me and into myself. And that's the foundations. How I achieved what I am sharing with you now. These are the foundations of this dance. Because it's a spiritual dance for many different facets of life. And I want to make that clear as a disclosure, as a, it's just very important that you know that. So in college, in dance class, I learned about where dance came from. I took African dance at one time. I took a few dance classes. Oh my gosh, it was so fun. So I took African dance class, and a couple of our class discussions, we were going in on where did dance come from? The transition of the dance over on the slave ships. What happened to the slaves on the ship, and how the sailors got bored during the long voyage, and there's their entertainment, their pets, right? You know, enjoying maximum cruelty. And so that's during the time when something in our culture that we use, like say the bird dance, we use to reverence our environment around us, a level of awareness and appreciation. Like I was talking about appreciating your feet, because they take you where you want to go, and how you appreciate the other things in our environment, because it's a symbiotic. To be aware of that, we had some of the cultures had a lot more connectedness than we do now, with all the noise and the buzz. I need to find some sun. My teeth are chattering. It got a little chilly. So a dance where we were just moving our bodies like birds and just being expressive, unchoreographed, totally from out of the spirit, and just appreciating the movement and reverence and honor and being thankful for this symbiotic relationship and how it related to us. Just like the zodiac, you could say this person's like a Scorpio and this person's like a, you know, like this or that. Taking the animal aspects or the essence or the traits of something and depicting them, acting them out. It's not unusual. We do this all the time when we have plays, or, you know, through our arts, through culture, through dance. And so this bird on the slave ship, on top of the salt water, while they were going through so much travesty, and this was a means of entertainment for the sailors. When it came here, of course, the dancing was inappropriate. They didn't like certain movements, so certain movements were restricted. And that's how we learned about the proof of the transition of the dance. I'll put in some excerpts and stuff. From a bird that was like I said, because I'm not dancing right now. I wish I could show you. Hold on. That would make sense, right? I'll show you. Okay. So, I hope you can see me. I can't see if you can see me. So, we took something from being very unchoreographed and just very much like you see me doing in flow, okay? Not to impress you, but we're being a part of, you know, just getting into it. Being a bird and, you know, to having to be restricted and not being able to move your hips or bend over, you know, things from people who were sexually repressed and had a different kind of idea when it came to mating. Some of the people they were mating with didn't want to mate. They were slaves. So, as a foundation of dance, looking at it as a spiritual means of communication, my bloodline, heritage. Good day. I don't know how much was cut off. I got interrupted again. Excuse me. So dance helped me get in touch with myself. It's a foundation to be able to eradicate a lot of emotions that I don't want. It helps me to process them. It helps me to, as a marker, as an access point for myself, a meter, if you will, like a lie detector. As a foundation to access other parts of me, to find out if certain things and tools that I was investigating are worth anything at all when it started to look at practical application. I'm making this for the Patreon, and I have some interference. That was a lot of calls back to back to back from somebody. Thank you very much for that. Maybe I'll make a podcast about you, because you're one of the people I can't get off of my Facebook. This was so important to me for my Patreon. From 2 different people, got a series of phone calls. Thank you so much. Dance helps me eradicate a lot of negative feelings. One of the things that I'm getting rid of is the feelings that I have about being gang stalked and about being abused with handheld electronic frequencies, satellites, and street performances, and sabotage when I'm working on my business. So I'd like to ask you again to please join me at Patreon so I can please get off of Facebook. I take what I do very seriously, and I go through a lot of painstaking processes in order to be able to access it and give it to you. I do value it, and those people who want to learn it and would like to get off of these channels. Facebook was a foundation to access a higher level, or people who have a higher level of thinking and a better plateau for wanting spirituality. And I don't believe that it's the gang stalkers that harass me when I'm using this platform. So that's perfect, okay? How gang stalking is listed under human trafficking. And I was just talking about slaves and being out to sea. Reminds me of the straw man thing and economics and all this stuff that has us where we are now. How do you get rid of all that stuff? How do you get rid of all these emotions and all these different facets and things that we're learning is happening to us? It's happening in life. You can dance if you want to. You can tap dance. I saw the metaphors as a foundation, as an access point to wisdom when reflecting upon all this stuff that's going on. I found it was hard to get rid of it. I was just, if you care at all, it's a lot of stuff. And then on top of the caring that gets set into your bones and in the confines of your mind, does it have you afraid to step from one place to another? There's the atmosphere. So anyway, I'll probably have to do this over again, like I've had to do other ones over again that I've done for Patreon. I always get interrupted. But that's the foundation for the reasons why I started to do yoga, and then I looked at Tai Chi, and then I looked at mudra, and I looked at psychology, and I looked at anthropology, behavioral modification, and many, many, many other things that I would like to share with you that I put into this dance. All you got to do is watch the dance. Right now, I'm just talking about the feet, and the feet are foundation. We're starting out at the feet, and there are a lot of other facets to this. And so please join me at Patreon. Much love to you and yours. This is just the beginning, the foundation. I'm out.